Welcome back. My name is Parth, small self-improvement YouTube channel. Hope you guys find value in this video. So, kind of want to just talk about journaling. Um, it sounds weird. Sounds like a topic that not a lot of people are really into, and especially for guys, it's just like it's a weird thing. Like, why would I want to write about what I'm thinking? Why do I want to write about my feelings? That's weird. But the thing is, who else are you gonna go to? Honestly, like that's why I found out is that like I don't like talking to people about it because I realize that I have all the solutions myself. I know myself, I know my situation better than anyone else. It's like, why would I want, like, I don't get much out of talking to other people, but I feel like when I write it down and I can see it on paper, I don't know if it's just like me and the way my mind works, that I'm a very like analytical type of thinker, logical type of thinker or whatever, but like I feel like it's much easier for me to find solutions on my own than it would be to just spend time, explain the whole situation to someone, explain all the details to someone when I know myself what the details are and I can just put it in my journal, just look at it myself. Now, obviously, I do like talking to some people about some issues or whatever and just getting other like outside advice as well. But I find journaling to be a very, very, very important part of my everyday life, a very important part about my growth and of my self-improvement. But I sort of want to talk about like as a child, like where this kind of love for journaling came from. And it's just that I loved the Diary Wimpy Kid books, the Big Nate books, and some of the Dork Diary books. I know. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Chill out. But I just love that like style and that theme almost of like a sort of journal entry or like a diary kind of, where it was like I got to see the thoughts and like the patterns of like some of my favorite characters and just like what were they thinking, why did they think this, like what do they make of the world around them. And I was always like, I love those types of books. And I remember as a kid I would like always ask my parents to buy little notebooks and I always try to like recreate the books and myself. Like I just go about my day as like a 5-year-old, or not 5, I wasn't that young, as like a 7-year-old, and I just like be like, I try to like over exaggerate my life just like the books. I try to draw little cartoons just like the books, and just try to make myself sort of like the characters. Not like the characters, like I didn't want to be like Greg. Greg's not a great guy, but I just sort of wanted to be like have my thoughts, have my ideas like published and as widespread as like these books were. There were many things that I loved about the books, the likable characters, the stupid little shenanigans that they got into, the way that like some of the characters talked felt really relatable, and just the way that I could see their ideas. Now those last two, they're really important because they sort of show how journaling is impactful in your real life, is that it allows you to write down your thoughts, it allows you to write down your ideas, and allows you to sort of talk to yourself, talk to your future self, talk to your past self in a way that's relatable, in a way that other people can other people, as like you're not really going to be showing it to other people. I mean, I don't really, it's not like I'm like actively trying to hide it. It's just like, no, I don't, I'm just not going to show it to you because no, you don't need it. But it's just that you're not going to be showing it out to people, but like if you reread it, which is really important, if you like reread your entries, you can understand, because this is like you from a few weeks ago, this might be you from a few months or years ago, but it's still you. You are literally just talking to yourself. That is about as personal as it gets because you are the same person. So I find that part of journaling to be really beneficial. I mean, I do it all the time. Sometimes I'll like read a past entry from like a few years ago, see what I was talking about, what was I thinking about, what were my problems back then, what were my goals back then, what was going on in my life, like what was I interested in, whatever it was. And I just find that to be sort of nostalgic. It's really like fun and enjoyable to reread on those times. I'll remember them too, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that was fun, like stuff like that. So I want to show my credentials with the journal itself. So first we're going to start off with the pen. It's the pen I use every time. You can see the tips kind of like worn out because all the just like Just the really deep thinking, you know, or all the times I just had to like, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, as you can see, this pen's like really worn out. See if you guys can see that. Oh, let me take that. There we go. As you can see, it started up here, went all the way down here. And I've been using this pen for about close to 9 months, I think. And it was fresh when I started it, so yeah. The journal itself, just full of it. I started in like September, I think. I started using the red pen. Let me see. Yeah, September I started using the red pen. Just ever since then, it's just been red. Still got a little bit left. I'm gonna have to go back to the store and get another one soon. It's a funny story. I made that when I was like, back in like 7th grade. I think I tried making it like a death note at first because I was like a weeb. And yeah, I remember when I first made that, it was actually kind of funny. Me and my friend, we would just like joke around about it. I'd write each other's name in it as like a little prank or whatever. And we try to like think of funny ways to like, I think I told my friend that he like slipped on a banana, like in the cartoons or whatever. I don't know. It's just a funny story from when I first made that thing. That's why it's like all black and colored out. So you can tell like this is what it's supposed to be. This is what I made it, just so I could like write the death note on top of it. I'm sure you can still see it. You can see like some tape residue or whatever, like the glue residue. This thing is broken. This thing's busted up, man. I've been using this thing for a while. I don't know. My boy's old. Anyways, as you can see, a lot of ideas. As you saw in those quick little flashes, there was a lot in those pages. And I found that sort of being able to see my ideas has helped me solve them, as I can actually see them on paper. And when they're in your mind, they're floating around. There's so many like other thoughts that sometimes aren't like productive at all, sometimes aren't even related at all, that just like make it so much harder on your head to think about. When you put them on paper, it just makes it so much easier to see, it just makes it so much easier to understand. That's why I find journaling to be so beneficial for, you know, your mental growth, like mental health. It's hugely beneficial for your mental health, being able to write down what problems you have and just being able to maybe make some lists, like pros and cons, like should I be doing this, what's like, you know, all those things. So there's 2 types of journaling. There's gratitude journaling and there's deep journaling. Gratitude journaling, I've talked before on this channel. It's basically you just take some time, write down things that you're grateful for, things that you know, might take for granted in your life, but that you want to take some time to show that you're appreciative of. And these can be like really small things to really like big things. That, you know, you can go from, you know, I'm grateful for this mouse I have. I'm grateful for this water bottle I have. Or you can go as big as like, I'm grateful for being in a house. I'm grateful for, you know, being alive. I'm grateful for like even stuff that you may not even have ever like thought about. Like I'm grateful for 10 fingers, like, you know, whatever it is. I'm grateful for a lot of things. I've written them down, and it's allowed me to sort of go through my life with this sort of appreciation for everything. Like I can look out the window right now. I can see like, I love the greenery I see. I remember when it was winter, all that stuff was dead and it was just really depressing. But now I see like the green trees, the grass is green, bushes are green. Like even some of the weeds, like sure, some of the weeds may look bad, but like it's green. Weeds mean that there's something growing, there's still life there. So that's sort of been my new like take on everything, is that it can always be a lot worse. So I'm grateful for what I have. When it comes to gratitude journaling, the benefits of it is just like what I just said, is just having this newfound like appreciation for everything in life, and just having this newfound sort of gust and like childish almost love for the world, which I find to be much more enjoyable than just not being appreciative of anything until it's either gone, or if it's like really big, like a really big gesture, getting a car or something, or until someone brings it up. I want to talk about deep journaling, because deep journaling is sort of like the topic of today's video. And I find deep journaling to be like what I talked about, which is just that you take time to really look at your thoughts and actually think about them. Like think about your thoughts. Why is this happening? What does this mean? Why do I think this? How could this, what could I do about it? Like all of these different things. And this is so important because the great men of the past, you know, people like Ben Franklin, Winston Churchill, Thomas Edison, what was the other guy? Marcus Aurelius, like, you know, these big thinkers, very important, like pioneers almost. These people, they all kept journals They all had writings of their ideas, of their thoughts. And that's why studying them, studying the way that they thought, studying the way that they looked at problems has helped us create the society that we live in now, create the world that we live in now with their inventions, with their discoveries, new ways of thinking. All of these things have been extremely beneficial to our society and our society's growth. Most people today, I think the biggest reason that journaling is seen as like weird and like, why are you doing that, is like nobody has any original thoughts. Nobody today can sit down and really say like, I wonder why I think this way. Why is this happening? Like no one really like thinks that. Everyone just goes online, goes on social media, they hear an idea, they don't really question it, and they sort of just parrot it to like everyone else in the rest of their life. Like that's why whenever I give like advice to like some of my friends about something going on in their life, or someone asks me a question on like a take or like a hypothetical or whatever, and I give my take, I've always gotten a, oh wow, I never thought about it that way, or like a, oh wow, I've never heard that before, or thanks man, that was really helpful. You're really good at giving advice. How do you do it? I'll be honest, I'm also kind of just like the greatest to ever do it. But besides that, I'd say a lot of it can be associated with my deep journaling practices. It's just that like I've journaled every single day since like, I think I've been doing it every single day since like, what's the date? June? Since like April probably. And I've been journaling ever since like the 7th grade. And so I've been writing down my thoughts. I've been examining my thoughts. I've been looking at how I think ever since the 7th grade. Granted, since 7th grade to like junior year has been kind of iffy. But like ever since I started like the midway to 2022, I've been journaling like nonstop. It's like almost every single day that I'm journaling. And so like I've had enough experience to really look at my thoughts, look at the ways of thinking, look at the way that my mind works and how other people's mind could work. And just that's why I've been so good at giving my opinion on people's situations, giving advice. You know, my takes are kind of the best takes. There's some rough ones. But like, that's what I'm saying, is that like this deep journaling practice has helped me so much create a more interesting like social life. I'm much more interesting to talk to now as compared to back in the day. Much more sort of introspective. It allows me to sort of look at my life in a much more deeper meaning. It's not just black and white. There's layers to it now. There's a lot of layers to things, and I'm able to actually analyze them as opposed to just accepting them that, oh, there's layers and I can't do anything about it. I can actually look at them. I can see if I can do something about it, if I can deconstruct it, if I can, you know, remake my life, remake my mind, fortify my mind to be whatever I want it to be. Make it beneficial, make it aligned with my goals. I find the best way to analyze my thoughts and the best way to sort of think of what to say when I'm journaling is just, as a child, there's like this stereotype of like the little kid that always asks why whenever something happens, just like, oh dad, why does that happen? Why? Like every answer given, he responds with to why. I find that to actually be a nice way to be journaling. Obviously you don't want to go like 7 layers deep into it, but I think like two, 3, 4 layers of like a why could help you get to the root of like a lot of issues that you may be going through and help you sort of solve a lot of problems that you have. And that's why I've been so accomplished in my advice giving and sort of my takes and sort of just like my mental introspection has just been much better because of just constantly asking why, like I'm a 5-year-old child. And other questions that I ask are like, why do I feel this way? What do I think of them? What would happen if, and what does this mean? I'd say you should probably write those like 4 sentences down. Go over those 4 again. And these are sort of like the, excuse me. These are sort of like the basic prompts, or like sort of like the basic prompts that you should be asking within every entry is just like, why do I feel this way? What do I think of them? What would happen if? And what does this mean? All 4 of those are very broad questions that can be applied to almost like every situation. Sort of just is like this is like a more tangible practice of another habit that you should just have throughout your life, which is just to be introspective and to question a lot of things. Don't just hold things as objective truths. You should really question it, look into the layers of things, really look into it for your own. And that's where I find journaling to be as helpful as it has been. Because a lot of things that I held to be truths for a while, I asked, who told me this? Why do I think it's true? Why do they think it's true? Who are they to tell me what the validity of this is? And so that's sort of where I found journaling to come in and be very helpful. And so a quick actionable step for you guys: you get a notebook. Could be like this. This is just like some pen and gear thingy. I don't know. Just get a notebook. Could be a spiral back. Could be like a nice, well put together leather notebook. Get a pen, preferably. It'd be best for you to get like a new one, where it's like, for this one, started all the way here. Like, see how it's black here. It should be black all the way here. And the goal for you, is write in with that pen and that notebook every single day until that notebook is finished. And by finished, I mean every single line should be written on. It's okay. You don't have to like indent stuff or like skip lines. Sometimes I do if I'm like separating the days of gratitude journaling, but after a while I was like, this doesn't have to be like a professional paper. Like, I can just put it together. And so that's it. Take the pen, take the notebook, write in it every single day until the notebook's filled out or the pen is dead. And in that case, get another notebook, get another pen, and do it again for the rest of your life. And you won't be the same. You'll be a much better place. You'll be in a much better place mentally, and you'll just be a completely different person. I didn't think it would change that much. I just thought it was kind of like a woo-woo self-improvement tip. I was wrong. I was very wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong, because now it has made my life so much better. It has made my mind so much sharper. It has made my like sort of introspection and everything else just made me a much better person. So yeah, that has been it for today's video. If you found any value in this video, subscribe if you'd like to. Share it with someone that you know. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.